Hello, everybody. Claudio Alegre here, and welcome to episode number 2 of season 1 of The Daily Pill, a webcast sponsored by our parent company, Angel Home Care Services, an agency providing caregiving services to Dade County and Monroe areas right here in the South Florida area. All right, cool. So today I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Actually, just one thing, okay? Because one thing I learned last week, I don't have a lot of time to small talk because I only have 15 minutes. So I'm getting used to this format. I like it, but I got to get better at it. So today I want to talk about necessary versus unnecessary frustrations for caregivers, right? Probably wondering, well, all frustrations, are equal, right? They're the same. Something happens that I'm not happy with, I get frustrated, right? But when it comes to caregiving, you don't have that luxury, right? And so that's why today's topic is, necessary versus unnecessary frustrations and how to deal with them both. And I'm going to start by an email that I got from a friend of mine a year ago. It's not the first email he had sent me, but they all had kind of like the same undertone, right? The same theme. And I'm just going to read it out loud because I actually have it right in front of me. It says, Claudio, I'm so frustrated. I don't know what else to do. My mother won't eat, drink, or she barely sleeps, forgets to take her meds all the time. Yeah, she's 94 years old, right? So that's going to happen. I'm with her as much as I can. I have a lady that comes and helps with the house, and still the other day she got dizzy, fell, and almost broke her neck. That was pretty bad. But she was all right. Spent a couple of hours in ER, and they shipped her out right after. I had to spend the whole day in ER with her, and on top of all that, she's starting to think I'm the enemy. That's because she has dementia and Alzheimer's, right? So also normal. That same email in one way or another was pretty much the same conversation that he would have with me every time that he would reach out to me and call me. We're good friends. We're still good friends. We talk from time to time. His mom has since passed. So then I started talking to him, like, have you noticed, that, a lot of the things that you're telling me that she's doing, I'm not invalidating you feeling the way you feel, but, you're her primary caregiver. You don't have the luxury to lose it, right? A caregiver doesn't have that luxury, right? You have to stay in control. You have to pick your fights, and you have to learn how to control your frustration as much as possible. And so I kind of gave him a list of like things I would consider a necessary frustration that over time they become less and less frustrations and more like, this is the way it is, right? Which is the way that you should be thinking anyway, right? And so I told him, look, for the purposes of his name, I'm just going to call him Joe, right? So here, Joe, his name is not Joe, by the way, but so here, let me just kind of tell you right off the bat, just a couple, maybe few, 3 or 4 of what I would consider necessary frustrations that you just have to deal with them, okay? And that's weekly doctor visits, right? You spend there 3 to 4 hours, and it's crazy. For a 15-minute or a 10-minute, face-to-face with a doctor, you got to spend almost 3 or 4 hours traveling there and back, right? That's frustrating. Having to find nursing homes or ALF or the right people to care for your parents when you're not enough, that could be a frustrating task, no doubt about that. You get points for that. You're allowed to be frustrated over that, just like you're allowed to be frustrated over spending 4 hours back and forth from the doctor. All right, getting denied insurance benefits or not getting the service you thought you would get from the current insurer just because you didn't know. That's super frustrating. You get points for that as well. You should be frustrated about that, okay? Extreme sundowning events that could keep you awake for days on end. A sundowning event is when a dementia or Alzheimer's patients, they basically flip the days, right? And then the days become nights and the nights become days, right? Which means that when you're supposed to be sleeping, they're around the house, throwing a party, making a ruckus, right? And that could be super frustrating because you're not getting any sleep. You got to get up the next day to go to work, or you have to be up the next day. That is crazy. It could drive you absolutely insane. So yes. And of course, dealing with the emotional weight of all of this. If you are the primary caregiver and you don't have a team or the right help, it's all going to come down together as the perfect storm. it is okay to be frustrated about those things. Those are things that you're gonna, you learn to deal with them. And it's almost like having a baby, right? When you're a brand new parent, when that baby comes out, your life changes in every way. It's almost the same way when you're older and you have to care for, a convalescent family member, a spouse, mom or dad. It's really that type. It could be compared to having a baby, and it will challenge you just as much, if not more. Okay, my nose is itchy, and I don't know what it is. I hope I'm not like getting some allergies or something. So, anyways, what I told him was, or what I thought was at the time, that in his case, he was adding to the problem, right? There are these problems that are there that are completely justified, but he wasn't part of the solution. He was adding on to the stress, or adding on, compounding, right? And that just makes everything, worse. And he was getting unnecessarily frustrated on top of what's already happening. And obviously, I try to tell him that, and all the time, without letting them know, you have every right to feel the way you do, but at the end of the day, here are some of the things that you can do to alleviate that. Some of the advice he took, some of the advice he didn't take, and so the stuff that he applied worked, and the stuff that he didn't apply didn't work. And he continued to be frustrated and upset on some of those areas, but it is a day at a time, baby steps, right? And so I kind of gave him a formula, which I use to talk to family caregivers, and I call that the 3x3 formula for caregiving, right? And the 3x3 formula of caregiving is just basically a concept that helps you simplify things in your head. Doesn't mean that things get simple in real life, right? But it helps you simplify things in your head, and it basically breaks down to the 3 tasks 3 times a day that pretty much every elderly convalescent person is gonna have to have done on them. Or if you're the caregiver, you're gonna have to figure out a way to put a team together, make this happen, right? And these 3 tasks, but by the way, and these 3 tasks revolved around the time to get up, the time to go back to bed, and everything that happens in between, in terms of everything that happens in between, in terms of the engagement and chilling and helping them and talking to them and everything in between, right? But those are the 3 main aspects of a convalescent, right? If you have dementia or Alzheimer's, it gets a little trickier. But if it's just you're just older and you need to sit down, you need to just chill. That's what old people, really really old people do. Right? They chill, right? When they're healthy, they're chilling. And if you're a caregiver, they still need care, they still need help, but they're there, right? But you're there, right? And they're there. So, but those are the 3 main times of the day. But within those times, there's 3 tasks that they have to accomplish. One is hopefully bathing, right? Eating and drinking. That includes taking meds, right? And then the other one is walking and and moving around if they're able to, right? And so there are many things that can happen when it comes to bathing, depending on their circumstances. Everybody bathes differently, right? When it comes to eating and drinking, they each have their specific meds that they have to take, sometimes in the morning, midday, right? PM. And the same thing with walking and moving around. Some people can actually go for walks, right? They can walk with a walker, they can walk at home with assistance, they can do some exercises. And then in the middle, in between those 3 main tasks, they chill. Right? They watch TV, they read, they're spoken to, they're engaged. And then when you look at it that way, as a caregiver, you kind of plan it out, right? So you know what? If you ever feel next time that you're completely overwhelmed, right? Just keep the 3x3 formula for caregiving in your head. 3 main times of the day where most of the care is required in case you need to hire care or in case you're gonna get care at home. around this three. Thanks, Cheryl. Appreciate that. And so these are just the main three things that at the moment you get it, you're gonna feel automatically like at least you have some semblance of control, right? But it's an illusion. There's really no control, right? Not when you're caregiving somebody. The best you can do is plan ahead, okay, and make sure that your day goes at least 75 to 70%, as you planned it. But that's not gonna happen. It's like having kids. It's like, does your day ever go as you plan when you have young children? Caregiving is the same thing times 10, right? So remember the three tasks, 3x3 formula for caregiving: 3 tasks, 3 times a day, okay? Bathing, eating and drinking, walking, moving around, and everything in between that needs to happen along those lines. Of course, you can take trips to the doctor. Of course, people are going to come over the house. But if you kind of formulate it that way and you structure it that way, then I think that it's something that it'll help you kind of figure it out. One more thing, okay, which happened to me. I think my countdown is not ready to go, so I think I'm almost there, but I think I have time to squeeze this last bit of info in. Do not worry about things that you cannot control, because that's just gonna, and that's what happened to my friend, right? Yeah, I have 4 minutes left. I can't believe I have 4 minutes left, because last time I got the prompt before I got 2 minutes left, but 4 minutes is good. All right. Yes. Don't worry about things you can't control, right? Because it doesn't matter. You want to save that energy for the things that you can plan out and the things that you can have an impact on, right? So in a conversation I had earlier, actually yesterday, with a daughter, we were able to service the need, right? The hours and all of that. But then right away she jumped ahead and said, you know what? It's happened before. After 3 months that they're here, then they leave to better jobs. Then they leave me alone and all of that. And I said, look, I understand. Sometimes that's the nature of the situation. But at this very moment, you should be happy that we got somebody that is a good fit for your mom for as long as we can have her. All we need to do on this end is to make sure that we can go ahead and plan accordingly, so they know they got to give us a month ahead before they move on. And then in that month, we got to go ahead and get somebody in there to make sure there's just no gap in service, right? So that you're happy, she's happy, and everybody's happy, And so this is something that I just wanted to put out there and kind of like, share with you. Do not concern yourself with things you cannot control. By the way, you can apply that to almost everything in life. When it comes to caregiving, where life happens a lot faster, okay, and you're being pulled from all angles at once by everybody, right? Not worrying about things you can't control could be a lifesaver, right? So anyways, I think I'm done. In the show notes, I put actually the link to this blog post that I wrote some time ago on this topic. So if you click on that link, you will be able to go straight to this article, and then you'll be able to read it on your own time. Yep, that's it. That's the link right there. And then I think what I'll do is on Facebook, I'll also make sure that I put the link as well, so that you can get access to it when I publish it on our page. Right now, The Daily Pill on Facebook. Get over there, like us, share. There's a ton of information on our page. We have over 13,000 followers in there. And then I'm becoming a lot more aggressive in it, spending some time in there myself. I'm going to be throwing some videos pretty soon, and just getting it a little bit more, livelier in that sense. But as far as information and access, just go over there and just knock yourself out. There's a lot of good information there. All right, I think we're good to go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you